Are you listening now?
Uh, Good morning, I can't see you now. Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Lee, and we're on the game of tongues, where we work on speech anxiety in all its forms. And we're talking with Reed right now. Um, and I'm just, um, hold on just a second. Okay, there we go. All right, all right. I just sent you another email confirming that. Okay, let me looking at your notes. Okay,
Mm.
Amrit is 17 and he lives in Nepal, and he stuttered from a young age up to about 70% of his words. And we we did our first Skype in November, and we've Skyped not every week but fairly frequently. And
Okay.
basically, his speech has gotten a great deal better. And in fact, he hasn't had a bad incident in 2 months, over 2 months. And we have agreed that he would post a success story. So I want to ask you, how have you had any bad incidents since the last time we talked?
It's not. No, no.
No, no bad incidents
Yes, yes.
in 2 months. Well, what can you the set once you've been a month without a bad incident, that to us proves the fact that you're able to avoid stuttering and blocking, because you really can't go a month without a problem if you
Yeah,
unless you
okay.
unless you're
Mm.
hold on just a second. Hello. You don't have to bring anything, um, and make it 10:30. Yeah, thanks. Um, I'm Reed. So okay, so he hadn't had a bad incident in 2 months, and I would say, once you've posted a success story, which you should do after a month, because part of getting over it is admitting that you have. When people can't admit that there's always a lingering fear that lasts for some time after you stop stuttering. That's the second
Right.
battle. In fact,
Mm.
I've written in my third edition of my stuttering book, which will be up on Amazon in about a month. Um, is I have a separate section, section 16, which is called Post Cure War Against Fear. And that it's
Okay.
all about fighting fear. And our next goal for you and for anyone who goes a month or more without a bad incident is to take them to the level where they can say to themselves and to me and to anyone, I love to speak. I do love to speak, and I'm not afraid to speak anywhere, anytime. On a stage with a mic, it doesn't matter. I love to speak, and I'll do it. And I will have an occasional threat. I have no fears because I've beaten it so many times. And how long does fear last? It depends on the person and how long they've stuttered and how much they've stuttered. But I would say typically somewhere in 6 months to a year, the fear goes down to virtually zero. But with some people, it takes longer, but it will it will die eventually, because you can't do anything. I mean, all of life is use it or lose it. And if you're not actively stuttering, it's that whole thing in your brain is breaking up and scattering,
Absolutely.
and it's getting weaker by the
Yes.
day. And so
Mm.
I would like for you, and I urge everyone at this point in their speech journey to try to find a Toastmasters club or somewhere where they can take a course in public speaking. Get in with a group of 5, 10, or 20 people who are trying to improve their speech and participate in that, where you're giving like 3-minute speeches to small groups. And it's a good place to start getting comfortable standing up in front of a
Okay.
group and talking.
How to get into that?
Can you do that? Can you do that somewhere?
Yeah, sure. I will.
Because I think have you tried to find a Toastmasters club in your area?
No.
Okay. Well, I there's several other people. I mean, you live in Nepal, and I have no idea what Toastmasters has going on over there. But you could start your own club too. I mean, wherever it is, whatever community bulletin boards are near you, or you could put something on the internet, forming a Toastmasters group in wherever your city in Nepal, and and invite people to let you know if they're interested or something like that. I mean, you could form your own. I just urged a guy yesterday in Beijing, China, to do this, and he's going to do it. So that may
Yeah, I
be
will. I will. I will join to him if he wish to.
okay. Well, it's a good step for you because any I wouldn't say, you know, go try and give a speech to 10,000 people with a mic and the TV cameras going. I wouldn't ask you to do that at this day, but to go in front of 5 or 10 people, in a small gathering who are all people there
It's
trying to
fine.
work on their speech, I think that's different. And you get used to it. And look, the main thing you've got to say to yourself throughout the day is, I love to speak. The
I love
more
to see.
times,
You're right. It's
the more times you say that, Amrit, the sooner it's going to become your reality. Because
okay.
the most repeated thought will become your reality.
Yeah, I'm practicing with my foot.
Okay, so, and then I would say you and I should talk like once a month. Um, but what you can do is, rather than just today you called me and I happened to be free, didn't have you on
Okay.
the schedule. But it would be better if you could send me an email a day or two in advance and say, can we talk tomorrow or the next day between the hours of X and Y? And try and do it in my time, which is 10 hours earlier than your time.
Okay.
And if you will do
So yeah,
that,
we can rather than talking for 1 month, we can talk in 2 weeks interval of
okay,
two
that's
weeks.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. But it's hard for me to leave it on this. I can try and leave it on the schedule that way, but what happens to me is I tend to get double bookings because what happens is somebody calls me and asks me in a week where you're not booked, they ask me if I'm free at, right now let's say you're 10 o'clock it's 9:50 here. 10 o'clock is when I've written you down as booked. And if someone asks me for a time on 10 o'clock on Thursdays, and they ask me in a week when you don't show up on my schedule, and I book it because I don't know that you're booked on the alternate week. I work
Okay.
alone. I'm my own secretary. I do the best I can, but I'm juggling people on 5 continents, and I get it all messed up. So I think the best thing for you to do is before every 2 weeks, a day or two before you're booked, um, send me an email saying, just confirming I'll be calling you on Thursday at 10 a.m. your time. If you would send me an email like that, this would be great because
But
other,
rather okay, if I could fix a day, like we can talk on Monday every 2 weeks. Is it fine for you?
well, Monday I can't do it. Monday I'm booked solid. Monday
Okay.
is yeah, I can do Thursday. I mean,
Okay.
this is open. This is
Okay.
Thursday and it's open.
Yeah. Yeah,
Monday I got
you can
problems.
book me on Thursday.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave you in the schedule for every 2 weeks, but I may have to bump it eventually, and but that doesn't mean we can't talk. It just means that you gotta email me a day or two in advance. That's all it means. Okay,
Okay.
let's talk about your speech more. Tell us what you have been doing. What have you been doing that's helping your speech?
It's I am practicing my auto suggestions, and I am using the first crutch, that is to skip the first syllable. It's very helpful to me, and I am speaking in a soft voice to avoid stuttering problems.
Um, so when do you do your auto suggestions, and how long do you do them?
Mm. I usually do it when I am going to my college. In my college bus, I will practice it, and I will practice it in before night time when I used to sleep.
Okay, before you go to bed. So you
Yeah,
do it.
right.
Is that right? So you're doing them once a day before you go to bed. Is that right?
Yeah, once a day, and when I go to college,
Oh, um, but when is that?
it's regular.
When is it?
Uh, when I am going to my college, I am usually saying it, pronouncing it uh,
You mean you do it while you're driving, or you're in a car, or on a bus, or something, or what?
on bus.
On bus. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And okay. And when you read aloud, what are you reading and how long?
For now, I'm not practicing it, reading aloud.
You're not. Well, I have to tell
Uh,
you that in my opinion, one of the reasons I've never relapsed, I know it's because I know the crutches so well, but there's another reason too, and that is I read aloud. I've always enjoyed reading aloud, and I would urge you to read aloud, to make reading aloud fun for yourself. Try to enjoy it. Try to be passionate about it, and try to find excuses to read things aloud, even if it's to yourself. Your emails, your text messages, your magazine articles, newspapers, whatever it is you read. Um, Try to reading aloud, because here's the reason why, Henri. When you read aloud, you hear your voice at its very best, at its
mm,
most fluent best. And that when you're layering in these memories, you're building a new habit and a new memory bank in your mind saying, Henri, this is the way you speak, mate. You speak like this. Bang, and it's
mm,
beautiful. And so reading aloud is a huge asset. I mean, I still read aloud. I mean, I read aloud every opportunity I get. It's not for my speech anymore, but I know it helps my speech. I know
mm.
that it does.
Yeah, I
I
want
don't,
to do. Yeah, I want to read aloud, but I don't have much time.
well,
Uh,
but when you read though, you read the newspaper, you read text messages, you read emails, you read magazines, you read books sometimes. Anything you read it aloud. And if other
mm,
people are around, do it in a whisper like this. You won't bother them.
mm,
But the point is, reading aloud, when you read, try to read aloud, whatever it is, even in the whisper. It will help you. It will help reaffirm and cement your fluency. And look, you're trying to get to the point where you love to speak. Speaking is not a problem, it's an opportunity. It's something you enjoy doing. It's sharing
mm,
yourself, it's helping other people, it's helping yourself too. And it's important that you do the best you can with it. And so,
mm.
okay, so um, how about the crutches? To what extent are you using the crutches?
I am using that when I speak. Calm floods my body. It's how to say. Uh, I speak softly and slowly with old linkage that crutches. That crutch mostly.
Okay, okay, okay. Mainly speaking softly and slowly. Okay.
Yeah,
Do you
and the
use
first crutch.
and the first crutch? And do you use
Yeah,
extreme? Do you use pronunciation sometimes?
first no first crutch is no
I
no
know
no
what
I
it is.
don't.
I know what it is. I know what it is.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't use in extreme
okay.
pronunciation. I
All
only
right.
use talking
Okay.
softly and yeah.
All right. Well, I think the next. I think the more the keep doing your auto suggestions. That's something you want to do for life. You may not always need to do it for speech. You won't always have to do it for
Okay.
speech, but you really want to do it and work on other things that you would like to improve about yourself. Like I say things like, uh, "Today I'll reject anger in all its forms. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be angry at anybody. I don't want to let anybody make me angry. I don't have to ever be angry. I don't want to be angry. It doesn't help anyone. It hurts me and it hurts other people. So I fight that. That's one of the things I do with my auto suggestions. I broadened them out. I mean, I haven't addressed speech for years, but I still do auto suggestion every day. And
Mm,
anger control, boredom, depression, insomnia, you name it. I work on it with my auto suggestions because I believe what it says in the beginning of this book, the quote from Dr. Caprio, that I can dictate my thoughts. And that's what I'm trying to do. I want to dictate my thoughts. And when you say I love to speak, that's what you're doing there too. So, okay, so what else would you like to talk about in our? I mean, basically, we've only got a few minutes left, but today because you called at a time when you're not scheduled. But in any event, anything else you want to touch on this morning or this evening?
mm, it's not something great, but yeah, I am feeling comfortable with my friends, uh, and when before I met you, I used to feel so much uncomfortable to talk to my friends, but now after meeting you, yeah, it's going great, and thanks to
Well,
you.
I'm really glad to hear that. It's a
Uh,
it's a wonderful thing.
yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean to
It's a
say.
wonderful thing. Okay, well that's great. So, would you urge other people to read my book and pursue our methods?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Okay, and
yeah. I will post in your page. So one day when I'm free.
well, what would you, if you were coaching somebody on speech, what would you tell them? What would you tell them to do?
Yeah, I will tell him to do auto suggestions, follow the lead instructions, read the books that you have published, and just do it. I will say, don't give up.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, look, keep working on. I love to speak. Try and